So you're playing your favorite PC game, and you're thinking, how could I make this even better? Well, this is how it could. More on that later. And later would be now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and if you couldn't tell by the two joysticks on the floor, well, this is pretty much what I did. Alright, so if you couldn't tell, here's the detail on what I did. This is the joystick. These are both PC joysticks, by the way. This is the joystick I unboxed 2 days ago in front of my HTC Aria. And this is a standard Microsoft Sidewinder joystick. Now, there's a reason why these two are here. And if you could tell on the TV screen, that is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Not the Xbox version, not the PS2 version. Definitely not the PSP version, but the PC version, as you could clearly see here. So what I basically done is that I turned these joysticks into gigantic analog sticks. Let me show you. Alright, this is a PS3 controller, and pretty much how these joysticks are mapped is kind of like how this controller is mapped, or any other first-person shooter controller is. So, this one is for looking and shooting, kind of like this one's for looking and the trigger's for shooting. By the way, these are great triggers, and this one's for moving and firing your grenades or looking down the sights, except I mapped the... Okay, here's how I mapped it. This one is shoot, reload, let me think, switch, and zoom. And the throttle here, you can actually make this as a throttle for the starfighters and the vehicles, which is pretty awesome. And this one is for entering, jumping, and running. The buttons on the side of the Sidewinder, there's approximately 4 of them. The buttons on the Sidewinder are for accepting, declining, crouching, and there's one blank one. And of course the trigger on this one is for grenades and stuff like that. And the little throttle here doesn't do anything because I didn't map it for anything because it'd be stupid. So I'll basically show you how these work. Now I'm going to unpause here. And these basically work like the mouse too. You see, if you use both of them, they work flawlessly, and they're very, very precise. But if you use one of them, it's okay. So let me just show you what I got on here. I'm sorry that I can't point the camera toward the screen because I want to show you what I'm doing. So here we go. We're zooming, and there's no sound. Here, let me get right on that. There we go. It's coming from my laptop, by the way. So basically what I did, again, is make them into gigantic analog sticks, if you couldn't tell. If you have played Star Wars Battlefront 2 before, or any other first-person shooter, you know how these things work, and you know how they're mapped, and all that other good stuff. And it's pretty simple to work. If there are any Gundam fans out in the audience, Gundam Wing is pretty much the inspiration for why I did this. Because if you could tell by the cockpit of the Gundams, they're pretty much mapped out like this, except there are no pedals on the floor, which I think I can make work out if I could find a big-ass steering wheel. Yeah, what he said. And it basically works out flawlessly. Here, let me pause the video and point the camera toward the TV screen to show you how flawlessly this is going. And let me just do one other thing. Where is it? Ah, here it is. This is my trusty cord I plug into my TV to my laptop to do basically that. And it should work flawlessly. Alright, here we go. And I can't hear anything. I think I did that right. Let's try again. That doesn't sound good. Please stand by. Sorry about that, gents. Couldn't really get the sound to come through the TV because for some reason it's lagging, but the laptop is just as good. So I'm going to continue now, and I'll explain stuff as I go on. Now, like I said, these joysticks handle just like gigantic analog sticks, and I quite literally mean that. Here, I'll show you what I mean by moving this down without getting myself killed. Alright, there we go. Now, as you can see here, the one I'm pushing forward the most is the one I'm using to move forward and back, and the one that I'm precisely moving is the one I'm looking forward and backward and shooting with, as well as reloading and zooming and all that other good stuff here. Basically, the one that's making me move is the one that also jumps and stafes and sprints and other stuff like that. This is really quite an amazing setup that you can do, and it's really, if there are any Gundam fans out there, Gundam Wing and Mobile Suit Gundam is where I got this from. Because if you notice their control scheme and their control setup, it's really quite an amazing one. And it really makes you want to try it out, but you don't know what game to use, and you don't know how to do it. And I just figured it out right now. Using Star Wars Battlefront 2 or any game quite like it, and 2 joysticks, preferably Microsoft Sidewinder, since they got all the necessary buttons and stuff like that. It's really quite an amazing setup, and I encourage all of you to try it. In fact, if any of you have it, I encourage you to make a response video, and this is one of the glitches with Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PC, at least for Vista. You see, once in a while, here, let me point this forward toward the TV. If you notice, let me just zoom in. Alright, let me get this precise. Okay, if you notice that the walls have turned black, and that's not normal. This is a glitch inside of Windows Vista's architecture, compatible with Star Wars Battlefront 2. In short, there's this glitch, and it really drives me insane, and the only way to get rid of it is to exit the game and come back in. I have no idea how to fix it, but if anybody has any suggestions or knows what to do, I'd be really pleased. Now, this is technically the DVD version of Star Wars Battlefront 2, which comes with Star Wars Fan Favorites Part 1. Yeah, I feel like I'm babbling on, but I don't really care. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this little setup I got here and show you how well it went. And I'll see you guys later. And I encourage you guys to make video responses to this, and I want to hear your opinion.